Okay, so on one of my last streams, I think it was a stream on Saturday, I was trying to play around with something with SSG and SSR, and then Lars, one of the viewers, mentioned that it's hard to do that with translations. So I am curious. I've never done, to be honest, I've never used the official Angular translations approach. So this stream, it's the first time that I will use that. So I'm curious how that goes. Maybe we will struggle a bit, but we are prepared for that. So new internazionale. So SSR Internazionale, if you sometimes watch the Champions League studio where Jamie Carragher is speaking, he was asking, I think it was Oliver Giroud, he was asking something and then he comes with his British English and he's asking him about Inter Milan. And he was like, International, and that was so funny. So let's see. So we create that. I open it already in an IDE. Code. Documents. Code. Private. Internazionale. So here we go. SRE, hello, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Zoom ID 125, nice. So we are in an SSR app. Probably a browser would help here. So this is the SSR app, nice. Now let's go ahead and add also one route. So let's go ahead and add, how do we call the route? ngGC features, let's call it. Now man, it's AC Milan only, oh my god. What is that name, Internazionale? Yeah, I chose it extra for you. So, what do we do? ngC, let's, I cannot come up with something cooler than foo, but whatever, foo, app config, app routes. By the way, AC Milan and also Inter, now they play both in the San Siro, but I think they are building like now the new stadium. Will they play still the same, or will it be like two different stadiums? I think it's two different stadiums from what I've heard. And I know the AC Milan stadium looks pretty cool, but I don't know about the Internazionale. AC Milan's new stadium, I'm curious now. Yeah, that one, I don't know which one it is. That one looks kinda cool. That looks cool. But will they play in the same still? I don't know if it's still the same. I hope it's not, but who knows. So now we have a foo component. So if we go /foo, nothing happens because our application is shut down. And here we put in a router outlet. Yeah, this is somehow a bit repetitive. but let's say we will have a (60 pixels). Again, let's do the dark background. So what I want to try is how does SSR behave with internationalization, and I have no idea. Center. And then probably what we will do is we make a div for the links on the left side, and then we make another div for the links on the right side. Means justify content space between. So here we would be like, I don't know yet how this should look like. That would be English, German, Portuguese. Let's go with those language. Is that a typo? That should be, of course, router link. Import router link, cool. I usually, when I do translations, I have to be honest, I usually do it with, let me quickly also add a default path. I usually use something like transloco or ngx translate, but maybe there's a point that the Angular team has, like when you do transloco or ngx translate, you basically have to load an extra library, extra dependency, right? That's not so cool. Then it also has some other downsides. It creates a lot of bindings on your page because every translation key is basically bound, right? So that's a bit of a performance downside. Then also the translation files cannot be tree shaken. That's also not so cool. So there are some downsides, and I think that's the reason why the Angular team, because initially I was also like, why don't you use a JSON, because that would be way easier. But there are reasons why they didn't go with the JSON approach, or with the JSON approach, with like having a runtime approach. Didn't I say here like, so this, and then we are finally done with the setup. Still like maybe font size 20 pixels, and then here still color white. Good, something like that. So we have a route, and then we have English, German, and Portuguese. Probably here we do like still style display flex, and we do a gap of 20 pixels. Good. So yeah, we have that. That's basically the setup. So let's go to GitHub, create a new project for this. The reason why I will generate this project, or why I push it to GitHub, the whole reason behind is that Ilir can go ahead and start the Internationale repository. That's the whole reason why I push it, right? Because what's the point besides that? Setup, good. So here we go now. Angular i18n. So how do we go about these common tasks? Again, it's the first time I used this. It's been out for so long. Never used it. So I guess we start by adding this. Localize will be installed and executed. That sounds good. Install the packages. Let's go. Cool. Now, what's next? Localization API contains helpers and tools for localization. Your application, you should install this package using, yeah, we did that. The approach is based around the concept of tagging strings in code. Okay, so everything, it has to be translated, has to use this $localize. So let's say inside our foo component, we would say we do an h1 and we bind that to the title, which we don't have yet. Title is equal to $localize. And now, how do they do that? Okay, that's a bit weird in terms of syntax, but Real Madrid is the best team in the world. Good. Can be real function that can do translation at runtime in the browser, but significantly it also global identifier that survives minification. So I guess if we run that, the Angular template compiler also generates localized text strings rather than doing the translation itself. For example, the following template. So we can have a h2 and we say here they are 14-time UEFA Champions League winners. And I can say this is i18n. Yeah. Cool. Let's make this a bit nicer by just having div style margin. It would be more like padding. And we go with 50. Cool. No, 20 was good. 20 was good. Good, so we added this localized text string, whatever. Now, what's next? Angular uses the Unicode local identifier to find the correct local for data. So language ID would be, for me, for example, DE for German, DE, and then CH for Switzerland. Yeah. See the resource. Yeah, open the Angular. What did we do? We did English, German, Portuguese. So now what do I have to do here? Angular JSON Internationale, that's just that. I think what I have to do, but this is not so well described, because we did add the localization package, right? We did that. Then what's next? Angular localize API. So we did that, but then basically here is nothing. What's next? Refer to local SPI ID. Yeah, that's where we are right now. Use the Angular CLI to set the source language. By default, Angular uses ENUS as the source, which is okay. Okay. What's next? Format data based on locale. So it has data pipe, local ID, formats the date value, currency pipe, whatever. Override current local for currency pipe, yeah. Okay. Prepare component for translation. Use the i18n attribute. We did that. Use the i18- attribute to mark attribute text strings in component templates. Okay. Okay. So we have done that. Translated inline text. The attributes of HTML elements include text that should be translated along with the rest of the displayed text. Aha. Custom ID. Yeah, we did that, we did all of that. We could add some meaning and some description. So an introduction header for this sample, hello 80. So we can add like site header and so on. Yeah, okay. I see you expression, mark plurals, whatever. So how do I now get like to the JSON files? I guess that's in probably here, work with translation files, yes. After you prepare a component for translation, use the extract i18n Angular CLI command. Okay. So let's first commit that. Feed, prepare, and prepare component. Now, what we are going to do is, how is it called? ng extract i18n - help, because I want to have JSON. Like there is a format, output format would be JSON. - format JSON. Did I do still - help? So the directory I don't care so much. Building. Now let's see what's going on here. So we got unversioned files, messages JSON. And where do we get that? Like we get the top level. So probably we want to have it under source locale, I would say so. So let's say the path, because it's - output path, source locale, or source, let's call it source i18n. So now we should have here i18n messages JSON. So that's the locale for EN US. Hi everyone, hi Chaos Monster, how is it going? And I guess this is not the best name. So now I'm curious if I go in my foo component and can I give it like, how did they call it here? They went with a weird format. There was somewhere, so this would be like foo. Let's say this would be foo and this would be header or something. Like foo subtitle. And then for this one, I have no idea how we can give it the name because that's the localize that we use for the text inside here. $localize. And I also don't know if I rebuild that, does it even have an effect? So we rebuild that under the localize package and it's still like this. I would want to kind of customize how this is constructed. And did it even work or? So I don't know if somebody of you guys works with the built-in Angular translations or if you all use Transloco or something, because this is not so cool. Like, how do you know what that is like? Because I would imagine that you have a JSON and basically you have the translations in some readable format and nesting. Am I doing something wrong here? The localize has a message ID. Okay, but can I still somehow... How do I do it with the pipe? Like, it's probably this one, right? This is the message ID you probably mean, or? Is it this? Or what is that? Like foo/title. But I would expect that now this basically in the JSON that I generate when I extract it, that this ends up there. So that if I do this, that somewhere here in the messages JSON, that this would be like, this would be the title. Name the interpolation placeholder. Or is it this attribute name? Is the value? Because they just say i18n, right? And then in the component template, the i18n metadata is the value. Minus title. This probably doesn't work, right? But you can probably say i18n minus full title. It's for tag attribute, okay. So, is there a way to give this a meaningful name when I extract it? I have no idea if there's a built-in way to do that. Because that would be cool, because this is not really readable, right? Key name or something. I mean, we had the format, output path, okay. I don't know if there's a way, because I think there's a way. Wasn't it something? Yeah, that's true. There is something like add, but it's not described here. There is something. But how would you use that with? Because we use it even, now that you say it, we even use it on Angular Expert's website. We use it in some places, so let's go to, for example, source, app, pages. Yeah, something like that. You're absolutely right. Because now I've never set this up from scratch, but actually I said in the beginning that I don't use it, but actually somewhere, where am I now? That's the Skull license, Skull product component. Here we even use it somewhere. Here, i18n. Added foo.subtitle. Let's see. But I would still expect that this is mentioned somewhere there in the docs, because yeah. Thank you, Chaos Monster. And I guess we can use the same add localize. Just add. Is it like this? Or is it then probably, it's more like that, I would say. That we have it like this. Maybe. Nope. With a pipe symbol afterwards. Okay. So afterwards, either here or at the end of the string. I guess then here. Okay, this syntax, or probably this not. Do we have that somewhere? That was the meaning. Not sure if I get it, but we will probably find it. I shared the link. Okay, where? Here it is. $localize double point add double point. I guess it's like this. So, okay, that's a pretty custom syntax, right? Ah, the one you found. Okay, cool. Yeah, so here we go. Okay, that's way better, right? Would be cool if it could even have like further nesting, so if you would have foo, everything with foo, because I think this is flat, that's one level, but we cannot nest everything that is foo subtitle title under that. But good. Okay, we have something working. Now, where were we? Work with translation files. Okay, so now blah blah blah. We extracted that. We did that. Now extract the source language. And now we have to copy that for our other locales. So we probably have to say this one now is the English one, but we would have one minus ch like that, I think. That's probably dot. I think it's rename. That's the format that I want. So then we will go here, that's DE, CH, and Real Madrid. Okay, let's translate. Ist der beste Fußballclub der Welt. Sie sind 14-malige UEFA Champions League Gewinner. Okay. What? And then we go with what is Portuguese is PT? PT? I don't know. Real Madrid. Now my Portuguese. É o melhor clube del mundo. I think that's, if somebody is there that speaks Portuguese. Oh, sie sind 14-malige. Elas. Probably this is wrong, but whatever. I remember that it was something with the X compatibility format that is dots are not nested. Okay, yeah, that can very well be. That can very well be. Because other libraries like Transloco, for example, they nest it. So cool. Good, so we have those. And now translate each translation file. Yeah, we translated them. I think that's what we did here. Now translate alternate expressions, yeah, whatever. Merge translations into the app. So basically we can have our application running with a source locale, if I understood correctly, and that's by default is EN/US. So let's see, so we go to localhost 4200, that's EN/US, right? But now we can probably go ahead, kill that, go to the Angular JSON and set our, probably here, I guess. Is it here? Or it's probably on the builder. This is the one that I want. Source locale. So Angular IO example i18n. So here we have to do i18n source locale, and we have EN/US, but we can now also say we want to have Switzerland, like the German one, and this should probably serve it like that. Yes, other translation libs nested JSON, yeah, but the benefit of the Angular i18n is that compatible with XL, whatever the format is, this XLIFF, and that format is used as the official translation exchange format for. Now I'm curious for what? But yeah, it's cool. But now I would expect that this serves it source locale. I would have expected that this now serves it in German. We probably have to configure the locales. So we probably have to say where are our locales. So I don't know if this is then DECH and the translation goes to source, in our case i18n, and then messages.de minus ch.json. And probably the same for Portuguese, I guess. PT. And whenever I do this, I have to basically restart. For translation companies, okay. Are translation companies still a thing now in the age of AI? Cannot both be source local and provide as translation. Okay. But still I thought if I change the source locale, it will be translated in another language by default. So now I have this, and now the question is how can I even change the language, or like, okay, I provided those source locales, cool. The locale you use within the application source code, a map of locale identifier, so I add my other translations. ng-build -- localize. So let's go ahead and let's do, and I am in an SSR scenario. Good stuff. Yeah, I don't know if it's good stuff, Lars. I'm doing this for the first time. I have no idea. I'm even setting it up. I have no idea if this will work. But you are the reason why we are doing this, so let's see. Okay, so we have basically built our application 3 times, which is great. So we have the CH, and that should have like the German one, right? 14-time champions. The Portuguese one, and the English one. That's good. So now I guess if you want to serve that, how would we do that? Because if we now start our application, we still have the English one, which is the default one. But the question now is, how do we serve that? And I think that's what basically Lars was saying, that he had to hack the server somehow. Deploy multiple locales. And I guess we have to deploy multiple instances or multiple paths. So basically, I would imagine that our application then, if you want to access the German version, you have to go to /en/foo and just do a full, or serve on production. You mean serve for development or serve? I mean serve for production. But serve for development as well. I thought for development, I could go here and just change the source locale. But probably I cannot. That's just like how the resource or what we are writing right now is basically served. So how can we even serve the German one for development? That's also a good question. Like, how can I change the language right now? Because I think in production you just change the URL. I think so, but how do we even do that? I don't know. Style cursor pointer. I want to have that on everything here. So let's even see like feed add languages. Yeah, yeah, that sounds cool. I think that's something that we also have to do somehow, like a default serve to the English one, and then, but then you still worked with multiple paths, I guess. Now even the first thing is probably how do we deploy that? And I think Netlify has like a pretty cool, so I want to deploy SSR, Angular, let's see. I like Netlify somehow, that's, ooh, I'm ghosting. Let's go with Dark Reader. No, I'm not ghosting anymore. Yeah, I'm ghosting because I have actually a green shirt. That's a problem because I'm using a green screen and the green shirt seems to be a problem. Okay. So, have you seen all these great announcements about the Angular 17 release? We have also covered them here. So now let's see what's new, blah, blah, blah. Let's deploy, yeah, let's deploy. npm install Netlify CLI -g. Let's do that. Yes, I also think so. We need to hack the server a bit, but we have access to the server, right? We have, when we generate it, we have access to our server.ts file. So let's see. But I first want to even deploy. Okay, that's a bit broken in the, that's not because of the blog post, that's because of the Dark Reader. Once you have the CLI set up, you can run the Netlify init command from your project directory to either create a new Netlify project or link it to an existing project. Okay, so let's see. We are in Internationale. Netlify init. Waiting for authorization. Opening. Well, it didn't open. Or? Now. Authorize. Yeah, I think that's good. Authorization granted. Connect this directory to an existing. Create and configure a new site. Nivex team. Site name, we call it Internationale. I mean, that sounds good. Login, deploy with GitHub. It all sounds good. Authenticator. Oh, that was too slow. And that was even the wrong one. 6, 7. Okay, logged in. Please close this window. Let's do that. Okay, your build command, Hugo build. What is Hugo? npm run build. Sounds good. Directory to deploy. Now here I'm curious, because that's actually correct. But will he? I guess. Let's add a Netlify toml. Deploy key added, creating Netlify. Wow, git push. Push to your GitHub repository, trigger new site builds. Chore setup deployment. Yeah, I think they will. they will also use, based on the blog post, they will use both even, because they say here, after the file will deploy your site for you, then on any subsequent, that would be push some buttons, but here, once you have, somewhere here they say it. If you take a look at your deploy logs, you'll see that the Netlify Angular runtime plugin is being used to pre-render your static routes and uses, this is the important part, Netlify Edge functions to handle the server-side rendering. So I guess they have the hybrid there, but let's see, because that's cool. So here I don't need Dark Reader. That would be cool, yeah. Because I also tried with Vercel, and with Vercel you can also click, but then you serve it, but actually it's not really SSR. It's still like, you build it SSR, but it still serves it as a normal Angular application. Oh, I have some cool Netlify apps. What do I have here? Like, what is this? What kind of site is this? Oh, nice. Nice carousel. Ah, yeah, we built that once here. Sorry, and what is that? That's an even nicer carousel, I think. Ooh. Yeah, that's cool. I quickly have to change the shirt because I'm ghosting and that's annoying. Be right back. Okay. Cool. So let's see. So International deploys from GitHub, production main. Building failed. npm run build. We built it with -- localize. So why is it failing there? Okay. Side overview. I guess we checked the later one. Building Netlify build, what does he do? So he basically runs from Netlify toml. Here is the Netlify toml, npm run build. So that's functions, Netlify function, this international browser, okay, that's the publish, but he fails at build, I guess, or is there a maximize lock? ng build building. What is that? Okay. Building site. I mean, do we have here? I'm also not sure if we can maybe do something here and then in the toml, because what we build is international browser. Maybe we have to serve en us / en us. Did you add and commit the message files? I should have, yes. But it's a good question, like, it's not a stupid question, not at all. It's a good question, I think. Let's check that. Because source i18n, there they are. Chore serve different dir. Let's see. I don't know if this helps, but like also a bit of, can I have a bit more verbose logging? Plugins input origin package Angular runtime. So this should trigger, yeah, so that's cool that it automatically triggers the deployments. Installing npm packages. Don't they match? Did I create something wrong? Maybe a typo. I hope it doesn't. No, you see, now that, for a minute I thought the build would complete. Publish directory is configured incorrectly. Okay. Okay. So he says that this was correct. /browser. But then let me check something, because the last time we did that site where we can add a new site, import an existing project. Because we have created one without internationalization. So let's see if that even would work. So we say the server side, so this one we have to save. Yeah, that one. Branch to deploy main. This is an Angular site. Yes. Yes, he knows that. Deploy the server side. If that works, that's amazing. And again, I don't know if the repo name and the, otherwise we will just delete the site here and just deploy like we do here, because this is now building. Let's see if the build works here. And this is basically a normal Angular rep. Building complete. And why building failed? Plugin Netlify Angular runtime internal error. Okay. No such file or directory. Did I even... Where did I specify that you should look for that directory? How can I do that? Site overview, site configuration. That's not that. Site members, build and deploy, build setting, base directory, build command. I mean, this looks so easy here. And I'm having basically a normal standard build command to ngbuild and set the publish directory to browser. Cool, ngbuild, browser, functions building. The Netlify function setting targets a non-existing directory. So, login. So I'm curious because I cannot even deploy a normal site, right? What is it? Melody Biscuit. I guess that's the one that I want to build and deploy. Yeah, that's the server side. It sounds like a net, yeah, it sounds like, because I'm basically doing nothing special, right? This is a normal SSR application. So I would imagine that if I do like a new SSR application without doing anything, that this should work. So if I would come here and, I mean, let's quickly try that. We do this. Your profile, we go to repository, and again we generate a new repo. Nothing special, right? That's a public repository, all good. Nothing special. Now we take that, we go one up, we say ng new, nothing special. We do whatever. We enable server-side rendering because that's the thing that we want to figure out how to deploy that. And now I'm curious if this works. If this doesn't work, then yeah. Installing packages. Because then I have another problem. I want to focus on the internationalization. But if I cannot even deploy like a normal application, then because I think the whole point of the internationalization or the challenge comes with deployment. npm. Maybe we should use bun from now on. Maybe. Now. So I change directory into nothing special, I paste that, I push it to main. Now let's go to Netlify. I go to my team and I do add a new site. Import an existing project, deploy with GitHub, all good. We are authorized. I search for nothing special, which is probably not found. So I have to configure that because I didn't configure for all the projects, but just for selected one. So I go to nothing special. I save that. Yeah, because that exactly what you say. That looked promising. So branch deploy main, base directory, we don't do anything, npm run build, which is the command. Right, that's the correct command. So let's check the package JSON. It should be the build. It should be npm run build. But build does ng build. Yeah, I think that's good. Dist nothing special browser. Deploy nothing special. And I would expect that this works because that's also what they say here in their blog. If you don't want to use the CLI, like deploy with the Netlify UI, what they do is add new site, import existing project, they select it, and then here they say ng build, publish directory to project name path. If you take a look at your deploy logs, you'll see that this works. Let's see. We have the deploy logs, the initialization always worked. Now Netlify build. Because we had it green for a second and then it always turns red. Okay. Yeah, you see. It then basically fails at some point. So I think it's in build command from Netlify app npm run build. Okay, I think there is something wrong, right? Can you show Angular JSON build? Yes. So we are build. We are using the build Angular application output path. Because what is kind of cool that, or what I thought, what was basically convincing to me, that they here already are with v17. So this seems like, yeah, it's up to date, like it's made for that. Resources for the road blog. Yeah. Redirects. You can even during server-side rendering access like Netlify stuff, but nothing special. Base directory. Yeah, I mean, base directory is just like dot. The output path doesn't have to match. You mean this one? I'm not sure, but I would expect that this is just like a standard out-of-the-box generated app. So I would have expected that this works. But what would you expect the path to be? Because that's basically where he builds it, under the dist folder, under nothing special. There he builds all the things like the browser and all this kind of stuff. So I think this looks correct to me. So because we get logs, functions, whatever, log drains audit log, because we try to deploy it. It's a bit sad. I'm not really the best in terms of navigating around here. And also the build was green, and then at some point command failed with x npm run build. Command origin UI, nothing special browser. I was so frustrated, then I came across CI npm run build that fixed it in build settings. So you are also using, okay, Chaos Monster, see you, hope to see you soon. Thanks for joining. So you're also using Netlify then. npm run build. So I was so frustrated, then I came across CI equals npm run build that fixed it in build settings. I don't know where build settings is. I guess it's site configuration, build, probably here. I guess that's the build settings. npm run build, this one. Netlify. Angular app, I need allows for solution, one-page website. Is there like somewhere to Angular deployment issue? This, the build folder is this, but the error tell me to change it to okay, whatever. I'm having an error which says that the folder doesn't, yeah, that's something else. Failed during having issue deploying. Building side, yes, yes. Non-zero code, can someone help me? Deployment failed with Netlify on my Angular. So I'm curious about this Netlify. Is this a public? This is on npm. Angular runtime, yes. So GitHub. Issues. Browser builder is not supported. Yeah, but we have the application builder, so for us it's not even that. Error on Netlify deploy. Build command failed. This looks more or less like what we have, I think. Build command failed. But that's still Angular Universal. Closed. I don't know. I have no idea, but basically I think I have to do a bug report here. Deploy Angular 17 app. Deploy Angular 17 SSR / SSG fails. Describe the bug. Hi there. I followed the instructions from this blog post. Which one was it? Netlify. It was this one, right? That's the blog post. From this blog post. Hi there. I generated a new Angular 17 application with the following command. I mean, actually, it's not fully true, we didn't do that, but you can basically say ng-new my app -- SSR, I think. I think the flag is called SSR. I mean, let's see. ng-new -- help. I think it's called SSR. -- SSR. Yeah. Oh. Because that would be super cool if this works. I followed instructions from this blog post. Unfortunately. I got the following error. During deployment. So basically what we can say here is like, I mean, where is our deployment? Let's put in this. Copy. So that's basically our, to reproduce, generate a new Angular application, push to repo, and add Netlify basically set up Netlify deployment with defaults, and then you see the error in deployment log on build step. Versions, we are using Angular 17. whatever. Let's see. I think this should work if they have the blog post like written like that, so that this should work, because we didn't do. I mean, I can see how it probably doesn't work with the i18n, that we have to do some custom work there, but that's still at least a default application I would expect to work. And then maybe the next thing would be with the Netlify tunnel to play around and figure that out. Because there we could probably say, even like locally, what does happen locally if we go? So. Because you don't know who you're going to meet. Locally we don't serve that, of course. Yeah, now it's a question, how do you configure that the requests are correctly mapped? Functions. We tried to adjust this publish script. And yeah, I don't know if there is somebody from, is there like a Discord channel on Netlify? Okay. Good, so we are failing here, which is a bit sad. Yeah, so let's see if we can get some fix here on this one, because that's basically blocking. We could also try Firebase. Let's see Firebase, because they had like Angular 17, introducing Angular 17. Let's see if Firebase works. I mean, hopefully. Conditional statements, whatever. Blog post, what's next? Deferrable views. There was somewhere. Firebase, yeah. So let's go here. Let's say Firebase experiments enable web frameworks. Firebase init hosting. Create a new project. A unique project cannot be modified afterwards. Internazionale. Yes. What? When was that generated? Firebase, go to the console. Is this my console? Maybe that's not even my console. Firebase test, there is no Internazionale, so what is up? Maybe this is, I don't know. Let's see. Adding Firebase, okay, that looks better. Hosting setup. So I guess we are now generating here like a new project, My Internazionale, which is that one here. Should we use this? Yes, use this. That sounds good. Let's go with Europe West 1, set up automatic builds and deploys with GitHub. Yeah, do that. Cool. How did we call Internazionale? How did I call the repo? Your profile. Internazionale. Triggering a service account, so Firebase is now doing stuff. Yeah, do the workflow. Okay, that's good. npm run build. Yes. Main is good. Firebase deploy. I don't think this works. Unable to build Internazionale, build production. Why? So what is your issue? Firebase deploy. Netlify. Node 16. Why? Are you using? Where can I say like which node version? Because I know we have GitHub Actions, but they are not running here. Can I do that somewhere here? My International, can I say here the node version? Performance crash, cloud, A/B testing, extensions. Can I do somewhere like settings? Project settings. Yeah. Engines node 18. Oh. Upgrade your Node.js. To upgrade your Node, make sure so Firebase -- version 12.9.1. Firebase CLI version. We have what? 12.9.1. I think we are. But where do you set like Firebase using wrong node? That's something else. Firebase shell still reads instead of the NVM version. I was able to solve it using the delete Firebase from the global directory in the root folder and I wrote which Firebase. User local bin. I don't know if this... Somehow I already had that issue last time that it's using the wrong version. Which Firebase? Brew, uninstall Firebase. I don't know if brew. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so there's nothing. So it's still there. So this should... Can I remove that or like... How can I say Firebase configure node version? Let's ask our good friend. Okay, maybe it's really this engine's field. Let's just say node 18. Whatever. I don't know if that helps, maybe it has. Why? Yeah, no, but I don't know where Firebase sets. Oh, billing enabled. Firebase deploy. I don't know where we have that. Firebase node. Yeah. So we tried at engines. Should we just remove that? I mean, yes. Let's see. npm run deploy npm run. It's Firebase CLI. Is that on npm? It's Firebase tools. Firebase command line interface tools can be used to test, manage, deploy. So probably I'm not a Firebase expert, as you can see. Tools. Come on, npm install. Oh my god, it's so slow. And then basically this will provide you with the globally accessible but that's probably fish, right? I would say if I go somewhere else, Firebase -- version. Is it the? I'm not sure if it's fish or if. So let me see, where is this? How is it called? iTerm, I think, or terminal. Just. Isn't this application called iTerm terminal? What if I do Firebase -- version, permission denied? Version. Okay. Firebase tool standalone binary. I mean, we can also try that. The standalone binary. Hi, how your CMD showing repository name in the Angular version? The thing is that I am using so I'm basically using Fish under the hood, which is called for friendly interactive shell, then Hyper on top, and then all my posh, and then I'm using a Angularic theme that we generated ourselves. So the theme is called, if you go to angularexperts.io products, we call it here. That's the theme I'm using. Angularic on my posh theme. So that's the theme that we currently use on our IDE. If you're interested in how to set this thing up, I have written a blog post which is available for Mac, but not for Windows. And there is basically described how to set this up. So if you're interested in that, feel free to check that out. So, Firebase -- version, nice. Firebase deploy. I guess it's still using the wrong node version for whatever reason. I would still prefer the Netlify if that's possible, but I don't think that we get a response there yet. Like, isn't there somewhere like I thought there is somewhere can I watch this? I want to watch this issue. Yeah, so let's see. Still 16.6. Sure, thank you. Sure, no problem. So, yeah, I don't know how these deployments actually work, because I'm not a deployment expert. But I would say I'm a bit disappointed in this. Here I guess I'm doing something that I don't understand about the Firebase node version. Don't know. Because node 18, I don't know why he uses 16. How come? Can I configure that? I don't know where to configure that. Firebase node version, but I'm especially disappointed in the Netlify, because I read this one blog post where they were describing how to deploy, right? This one. And I have to say I'm a bit disappointed. But this didn't work. Cloud functions using node module. I don't know how to. Using Firebase we use the specified. Okay, maybe. So based on what ChatGPT says, this should be the thing. But I don't think it works. It's still using 16. But yeah. Why? Node.js version 16.6. Your package JSON contains a custom build that is being ignored, only the Angular default build script. ng build is respected. Why? Okay, but then you do ng build. Thus, Firebase function doesn't support Node 18 as its engine parameter in package.json file. Yeah, has engines file which is unsupported. 10, 12, 14, 16, what? Hello, Rajat. How are you doing? I try to use Node 18. Oh my god. Why not? The documentation set at set Node.js version says Firebase for cloud functions and higher. Yeah, maybe try to, but it somehow it works. It just doesn't, like locally it works, right? So if I go and do npm run build, this works because it's using Node 18. But Firebase somehow doesn't use Node 18. And the Netlify stuff also didn't work. So I'm struggling pretty hard here. But I guess the whole thing about the translation is basically, if you would go here, right? If you go to our dist, we have a browser, we have generated 4 or 2 different files. And what we would do if we go to run index.html, if we run that, that's probably empty because that's not rendering anything. But if we go to foo and we run index.html, we see that this is the German version, right? Nice. Then we have another one, which is the US version. And then we have a one, which is the Portuguese version. And all of those versions work. So we generated 3 different applications, which is good. And now, I guess the question is just how to serve that. So if you click on German, I would imagine that we go to /en something. But yeah, we cannot do that because we cannot even deploy a single SSR app. Because on Netlify we have the issue that just what they describe in the blog post doesn't work. But let's see, we have opened an issue. And if that issue would be resolved, that would be cool to test. On Firebase, I don't know how to set the correct node version. I have no idea. Firebase. Delete functions before here. The Firebase SDK for cloud functions allows a selection of Node.js runtimes, which is great. And then you can set the version in the engines field in the package.json that was created in your functions directory. Okay, we don't have that. So we don't have that. And maybe this package.json doesn't matter. Node.x.x maybe. I don't think so, but let's see. Would be cool if you have if it works. Yeah, this is probably not such a fun stream today, right? Change the engine's value in the package.json, yeah. There it is. Where does this come from? It's like, I have no idea where this is from. Can I configure this somewhere? Functions. I don't know. Update required for node version in Shell's Firebase. But what we can try. What we can try. So we go to Firebase, hosting merge. So we do a checkout. And then let's say here. Let's say on Firebase itself, we go and we do your profile, blah, blah, blah. I mean, what is going to happen if I push that? If I go to SVG to TS, for example, because there I think I am using GitHub Actions where I set up the node version. So workflows, CIML, release YAML, I guess it's release YAML. And there we do like install node modules, set up node. What if we go here and add those kind of things? Minus, so that's in the npm install, but then on setup node, GitHub Actions setup node. Setup node. You can say node version with node version. So uses, so that would be more like Firebase version is 12.9 with node version 18. Let's see. So we push that to Internazionale, and then see if that GitHub action deploys it. And then if that doesn't work, then I anyway soon have to finish the stream. But yeah, it's a bit, because here we set up node now. We have npm run build. And then we add, if that works, because that should work now. If that doesn't work, then it's using the wrong. Because Firebase is now using just the action hosting deploy. So the build works. Deploying to production site. Cannot deploy a web framework from source because the experiment is not enabled. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's ready yet. So because this is basically coming from the web experiment setup. So initially we were running where was it? Angular 17. We were running this one command here. Firebase experiments enable web frameworks. And now then we go through and we generate the GitHub actions, but then on the GitHub action this is not enabled anymore. Yeah. Still trying to deploy, yes. At this moment we gave up on Netlify. We opened an issue on Netlify because yeah, that would have to work. So let's see. So feel free to upvote that. And now we are basically trying to deploy to Firebase. But yeah, it seems like deploying this, it seems like pretty painful, because now I want to deploy Firebase deploy and Firebase deploy. Locally is always using Node 16. Don't know why, because I have Node 18. Then I tried to add this engines flag in the package JSON. Now we are trying to do it over GitHub Actions. But somehow then we don't have the Firebase web framework experimental enabled. So it's pretty painful at the moment, to be honest. And I will soon finish anyway. But yeah, I thought that because they basically say here in the Angular 17 blog also that the story about deploying is like now deploying to further enhance developer experience. We work closely with cloud providers to enable smooth deployment to their platforms, right? So my experience is not smooth at all. But maybe it's me. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, because also that Netlify blog post sounded so good. It sounded like it's doing what I want. We have SSR out of the box. And yeah, we cannot even deploy like a normal. The i18n would be the next. That was actually the challenge I wanted to focus on, but I'm basically failing hard at deploying even like a standard SSR project generated with the Angular CLI, because it looks easy and good here. Do they have a sample project or something? Or is this just... I have no idea. Who wrote that? Maybe I can reach out to that person also, because I'm very curious about this. That would be super cool. Published November 10th, tags Angular. I cannot believe that this doesn't work, because it's out since a month almost. And people for sure have to use this. Like... yeah, I'm a bit... So I will try to figure out, but let's see. Anyway, I now have to... Actually, now I have to leave. But thanks everybody for joining. Thanks to Chaos Monster for rejoining even. But yeah, let's see how that goes. I don't know if somebody of you guys knows like a cool way, or how has anybody ever done like SSR, SSG and deployed it like pretty easily without like doing a lot of things, because that's something that is missing for me. I want to deploy it easily. I want to be able to deploy an Angular SSR app with just basically what they have here. I just want that, but I want it working. So because I've already deployed, like even yesterday I went to Vercel and I tried to deploy it also this server-side application, right? And I have a deployment running. So here, that's the server-side app, right? You can navigate, foobar, best, nice, cool. But then if you check the network, and if you check what is coming over the wire, you see that we have app root in here. This is not SSR. So this is, even though the application is basically an SSR, he deploys it as a normal Angular application. This is not SSR at all. So yeah, I'm not sure how this is even done, because yeah, I haven't found a good solution for that yet. And then once we would figure that out, we would get to the actual problem of how to serve multiple pages. But as we said, we build out multiple pages for English, German, Portuguese, and if you run them, those are standalone pages. So basically the way you need to figure it out is how to deploy them, right? Because we did also AngularExperts.io, but there we have that's basically just a static deployment. So there this is just SSG. This is all SSG. We don't have SSR. And then it's just a folder that you deploy, right? With multiple directories. But yeah, I still have to figure that out. I will keep you posted. But that's basically it for today. So thanks everybody for joining, and then hope to see you soon. Probably I will stream, I don't know, probably Friday. It's usually the day I stream. So to be fair, the i18n didn't really change, so that should be solved problem by the providers. Yeah, I also think so, but somehow, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I cannot find any good resource on how to do this. So therefore it would be cool to figure that out and maybe write about that, because I find it pretty tricky at the moment. How would you do that like nicely out of the box without figuring everything out yourself? Yeah, but let's see. Okay, we'll keep you posted, and then let's wrap up here, and have a great evening, and thanks for joining. Bye bye.